9, 8.
You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us again for SketchUp this Thursday evening. We've got a good lineup for you here today. Tonight we have Erik Arreaga, who is putting out his first comic book, Chingona, and we're going to take a look at that. We also have Anthony Apodaca, Sean Lenahan, and Trish Forstner. So we're happy to have these people. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this short intro brief. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to tonight's show. I see that in the dog pound out there. Kenneth Bird is there. Thank you for coming on by. Derek Neiman, happy Thursday to you too. Lorena, how you doing today? Our neighbor from Riverside here. Good to see you guys all tonight. We have, as our special guest, we have Erik Arreaga. He's been a good friend of ours for a number of years now. But he's this year's new breakout publisher. He's coming out with his own line of comic books, and he just started selling his first one, and he's had great success. So we're going to find out more about that when we bring him on. All right. So what do you got going on, Mog? What's going on with you?
I'm going to do Savage Land.
Okay.
Goblin Queen.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, so Mog is drawing Savage Land Goblin Queen tonight, and her starting bid on that is $80. Okay, she also has 2 Kickstarters that are going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the Spectres and Sabanian one for issue number 5, which will also include a reissue of number 1 sporting another Mog cover. So now you will have a chance to get all 5 issues with the Mog cover. That's just happening just now, so you can jump on that. Also, the 3rd issue of Ninja Witch, which is JD just posted right there, has the newest cover from Mog as well. And I don't want to be biased, but I think it's one of the better covers on the Kickstarter. Take a look at that. We were received very well at Emerald City for the work that she's done on that series. And in fact, all of Mog's books, Ninja Witch, Spectres and Sabanian, War Angels, Ruxy Vampire were all nominated for the Heroic Awards, and Snowpaw had the best story and comic of the year final nomination. So we're very happy to have that. All right, so that's what's going on with her. Let's check in with Erik. Let's bring Erik out here and get talking to him a little bit. Hey, dude.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Howdy.
You were at C2E2. I didn't get a chance to see you there, or not that.
Not many people did.
What? How did that work out for you out there?
It was actually a lot better this year than it was last year. I was, because the way they formatted the new building last year was a trial run, so I didn't run very well.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that.
And I was last year. I was in the bottom floor, the basement, in the very, very most corner of the show you can ever be, looking at a literally a white wall all 4 days. It was pretty bad. It wasn't a great show last year, but this year was much better. I was upstairs. I had a corner booth, and then premiering my book helped a lot. That was it got great traction there. Really surprised how it did. But yeah, it went really well this year. It was really good.
Right, and that was Chingona, and we're gonna get to that, talk about that, because that sounds like you got a lot of hype and action going on with that book. So we're gonna take a look at that. But let's bring out our other guests here that we have tonight. We have Anthony Apodaca, who was also at C2E2.
What up, you guys? How's it going?
Woohoo!
What's up?
What are you working on today?
I'm going to be working on a Gambit. Just got done watching the new X-Men, so I've been hyped on Gambit.
X-Men 97. It's doing really well. Everybody seems to love that show. Okay.
Yep.
And we also have Sean Lenahan. He's here tonight as well.
Yep.
And he's working on, that looks like the Savage Land Rogue. He's got a lot of it done already.
Yeah.
And starting bid on that is going to be
$80.
Okay, there you go. So if you want to bid on any of those guys, just go ahead and place that in the comments. And last but not least, Trish Forstner is here.
Hello.
Who was also at C2E2. That was hard to find.
Yeah. I was like, everybody kept telling me, wow, oh, here's where you are. Let me just mark that down on this map since we can't find you by your name. I was like,
I should have wrote all that down too. So that I was trying to find you along with several people, but well, anyway, but we got you here tonight, and we're happy to have you. Whoa. And that is?
This is Patch. He's on a Feral #1 blank.
Ooh.
Patch is one of our main characters.
Okay. And that series is doing well.
Feisty.
You guys haven't checked that out? Check out
If there's
Feral.
time, I'll draw on this one. But
ooh, Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all my packages will go out this
two
weekend.
fantastic hits that she has on there.
Yeah, did you guys see that Stray Dogs #1 actually got an Image First reprint, so they'll be back out in stores again soon.
There you go. Yeah. And I was talking to I forget who it was this past weekend that we were at what was that, the Free Comic Book Day. Yeah.
Oh.
And they had Feral and Stray Dogs in there, but they were telling me that what they were doing with the #1 coming back out with that. So I said, well, that's good. That'll make it easy for some of these people to get the complete story, because that's one of the things that they were like lacking on. So that's good to know. Very good to hear. And so now back to Erik here. You first brought out Chingona back out in Emerald City, I believe. Was that the first one that you brought it out to?
That was the very first book, that I had her first full book. I had been teasing her for like years and years. I even teased her like the first appearance in my sketchbook that had like some sample pages. But this year in Emerald City, was her very first premiere right here.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
All right. So tell us about that. What is that book about?
So overall, she's a Latina anti-hero.
Okay.
And just she's just on a revenge spree. Her mom died when she was just a little girl, and yet no one helped her figure it out. No police, nothing. And but before her mom died, her mom trained her in these gifts because it's something that's passed down through the women generation. And but she didn't get her complete training, so she's trying to figure out the rest of her gifts. But with these gifts, she's taken a very, I guess, like I said, it's a very hateful path to figure out who did it, who's the culprit, who did it. And regardless if you're good, bad, whatever, you just don't get in her way. She has no problem taking you out if you're any form of obstacle. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's where that's pretty much the overall story. But I'm taking on top of it, it's gonna be a very dark, moody story. It takes place in San Diego, so that's where I'm born and raised, and I'm tired of the whole New York thing and all that stuff. I get something new in there.
That was one of the things that I would always think about when I used to read when I was reading a lot of comics back in the 70s. everything was like taking place in New York or Chicago. I go, man, why don't they come out here to the West Coast or to Hawaii? You know, so why can't we get some action down here? You know,
exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like, why is everything, and there's so many creators out there,
right?
But that don't live in New York and they still put their characters in New York.
That was the hard part back then.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it was the whole process on how the comics were made, right? Because they had to do everything through the snail mail, right? We didn't have the internet or the digital things that we have now. So they would have to mail it out. So what made it easier is that if whoever it was, the writer, the penciler, or whatever, lived in New York, where the Marvel and DC offices were at, that they didn't have to mail it. They could just like hand it off. And that kind of helped us speed up the process instead of waiting a week to get to the next person. Because when you think about it, that's a lot of people you got to mail it to.
Yeah.
You got the penciler, the inker, the colorist, the letterer, and then the post-production person. And that's not even including the editor who's got to approve it all.
They approve it all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you hope that there's no redos.
Right.
But we know there was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But so that's why all the action was out on the East Coast. It's just the way how it came out to be. So it was kind of exciting that when they did the West Coast Avengers, kind of. Yeah. And so what's the inspiration for your story, Eric? Because I know you've been, I loved hearing your story about like how you went to San Diego Comic-Con. You're at a very young age, and how you were like totally impressed with the whole genre, the whole community, and everything that was going on there. It's super exciting for a young kid, because it was exciting for me, and I was already 25, I think, the first time I went.
Oh, really?
I was like super stoked. I bought a ticket for one day, and that was a big mistake. I thought one day was going to be good enough, And I go, dang, I should have bought a ticket for a second day.
4 days.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I really was starting to get these characters together, and I originally wasn't gonna start with her. I had another character that I think you've seen before, Mr. Amazing Zombie Hero. I've had that in the works forever, and as I was developing this universe I'm doing, and started placing her in the universe, I started to find that she was a lot more interesting, and she was developing a lot more better than the other characters. And so I started just to focus on her a lot more. And as I was kind of doing it, Geraldine, my wife, she started to like really pay attention to her and like say, it's cool because we don't have a Latina hero in general. I mean, we barely have a Latino superhero. Maybe Blue Beetle or something, but there's not many Latinas, and this could really speak to people. This could really, really bring in a lot more different viewers and interests. So I just kept developing her more and more, and really try to think about just how to take her and how to, like, what direction to take her in, and it just started going from there, and I just started focusing fully on her. And again, I know San Diego. I mean, I was born and raised here all my life, 45 years. So I was just like, I got to put her here. We have a prominent Latino community. It's like a mile away from the convention center, called Barrio Logan, and and that's where like a lot of her focus is, in that area. But the main thing, and this is what I tell a lot of people when they ask about her, or like what am I doing with her in general, like is she gonna be like this whole like activist or what? I didn't make this character to make any like cultural points. It's not like I'm not here to educate people on like the Latino or anything community. She just like everybody else in San Diego, we're a mixed culture everywhere. She's just a Latina in San Diego that I'm telling a story, and all the characters that I've developed and she's gonna run into are of all different ethnicities, cultures, sexual orientation, religious, everything. It's gonna take. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, hey, learn about the Mexican culture. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that's the character I'm developing. That's her background, but it's overall everything is just a normal world, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you don't have any agendas or anything. You're just trying to tell a good story with your character.
Yeah.
What would be a good what do you call it? What would you compare her to be like with what's out there already? Is she more like a Spider Woman, or
the mood I'm trying to convey in general, I guess, because I love like dark stories, but still in that I guess superhero-ish type genre is Spawn. All the people that have picked up the book and looked through it, they've all compared it through like a Spawn type book. Just because of the mood and how her overall appearance is. And yeah, and that's kind of what I'm going for, but with a very, very big take on superheroes in general. A great inspiration for me is I always loved like the first Savage Dragon. I thought the way he incorporated his superheroes in this really funny universe, but it made sense because of the character. I absolutely love it. And I'm kind of going in that way, but with a darker point of view.
Yeah, and you're right, because I think with Savage Dragon, Erik was trying to get that feel, that mood back of how comics were back in the 60s and the 70s, because it had that, those aspects of it, right? So that's a good one to draw from. There's some comics now that are coming out that are kind of like that, but not as much. And it's good to see that you're trying to introduce this Latin character without an agenda. Just that way we in a way you're trying to diversify the culture, the comic culture, but yet not to the extent where you're trying to push it. And it's good to see that there are others like that too, because we have that one group here in the West Coast where they have like a couple of shows every year. That's a Latin group. I think it just started like last year, but they seem to be getting some pretty good traction. I don't know if you've seen that, but good to see them. Hoping to get them on the show as well. So we'll see. Hey, and if you guys want to get in on the freebies tonight, I've got some pretty good ones. At least I've got 3 free giveaways I'm going to be doing tonight. Type in #EXP Chingona to qualify for that. Okay, and that'll get you on there. Let's take a look around and see what everybody has right now on the board. Mog, let's take a look at yours. Wow, that's pretty fast for you, considering that you just started. No, that's a compliment. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was
You
inspired
said nothing when we started.
I know.
Magician.
No,
That thing was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the Savage Land Goblin Queen that she's working on. Starting bid on that is 80. And let's go to Sean. Let's take a look at your Savage Land Rogue.
Yeah, she's coming out okay.
She's coming. That's more than okay, dude. You got a background and everything in there already. So that's coming out good. You want to bid on that? Starting bid, we are looking for an opening bid of $80 on that one.
Gorgeous.
Right, and gorgeous. Yep. And Anthony,
I'm doing
working on a Gambit.
throwing down some Gambit right now.
There you go. That's looking pretty sharp
Nice.
there. Working on the inks.
Nice.
And what was your starting bid that you're looking for?
I'll do 80.
Looking for 80. That's pretty cheap for Anthony. So jump on that. Yeah, it's on a Rogue Gambit blank sketch cover. Those are tough to get these days. Okay. And last but not least, Trish with there. Oh, there. That's looking tight.
That's tight.
Yeah, that's
Grr,
good,
angry
man.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
It's a true master here. It's like master, sensei.
Oh no.
Showing everybody up.
I love that everybody's doing something different in a
Oh, yeah,
different
there you go.
style with different mediums. It's just so cool. Look at that.
I agree
That's what
with
makes
you.
this show pretty fun, is we get to see all that. Damn, that's looking really good, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, heck yeah.
Man, it's like kind of hope that nobody takes it just so that way you could have it at Phoenix.
Yeah. I'm not envious of all the black ink you'll be using on that one.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. It's always kind of like funny. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot of black ink on this, so I don't have to put any details.
Yeah.
But you use half the bottle of ink.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he's still got a lot of detail work to do on there.
Oh yeah.
Like, goodness sakes.
Mhm.
Goodness sakes.
That's great. All right, so Erica, I think I understand the Chingona was the first of your books that you came out with, and do you have other books that you're coming out with?
Actually, no. Well, so I've kind of decided to adjust my schedule with the books because of how well I didn't realize, because this printing is already sold out. I'm already going to the printer probably next week for the second printing.
Wow.
And I've only done 2 shows and some online orders. That's been it so far.
That's incredible.
So I'm gonna kind of like just keep riding the wave on this one. And I'm actually I reformatted some of my stories just to combine the stories into this. I was going to do like a introduction of the next characters, but I feel I can just combine them and just do it all in this title. So I'm already now working on the layouts for the 4 books of Chingona. So that's what's happening now. Is I'm just gonna stick with her, but all the characters that I had planned are still in there. I'm just reformatting how I'm introducing them.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because it was just really fun. Like, again, the way people took to her all of a sudden, especially like at Seattle and stuff, it was pretty shocking. And being my first book, I didn't realize it was gonna come off that way and just be like really good. But it was just super cool. And then WonderCon just made it even better. So
isn't it neat to hit a home run like as soon as you like come out with your first thing? Like my friends are my friends being Tony and Tone, they were mad at me. Tony wasn't. Tone was like, "Girl, I've been in this forever and I didn't hit a home run. What the hell?" So Stray Dogs, being the first one out.
Yeah. Well, you've been on some really good projects. You've got a good string of good hit projects that you've been on, Trish. So you're going on a very, very good streak there. The rest of us outside of Erik are still trying to make that hit. So,
it's just, I think it's a right place, right time kind of situation. At least as far as I go. Just given how Tony and I met,
Yeah, and with Tony with the idea that he came out with, and then putting out a book like Stray Dogs.
Lunatic.
And then putting out Feral, and then now he's got a 3 string of hits that are going on right now. So that guy's busy right now. That's why we were talking about the last time when we had him on the show a few weeks ago. How are you doing on this? You got to write 3 books,
probably on
make
very
all
little
these
sleep.
appearances. Yeah.
Probably with a lot of Rockstar energy drink and hopes and prayers. But like even with Farrell, like I felt like I've been kind of doing a lot of these, a lot of shows like not just this, but like podcasts and all that stuff. It's not that I don't want to do them, just that I haven't done as many. Like, do you find yourself, Eric? Do you find yourself doing a lot more of these? Like now that you've got your book out?
This is the first one I've done since the book.
Kick ass.
But I've done some interviews like at the shows, at conventions. I have people coming up and asking about it, and I do like quick interviews and podcasts there on the spot. But I haven't done very much like at home, like doing it. Like this is the first one I've done live.
What's really funny is since I'm on the East Coast, this one runs like late. I've still got work to do after this, but
it's a good thing you're a vampire.
It's a good thing I don't run on sleep, and I have this big old cup of coffee over here.
Yeah, famous mug.
Yeah, I ended up fixing. What did I fix? I fixed Colombian coffee, and then I put some strawberry like oat milk creamer in it. It's very good.
Nice.
Very good. And we'll stay awake for a while.
That sounds really good. The strawberry and coffee.
Yeah, it's I found it at Target, and it's just Califa, I think is the name of the brand. So good, very light flavor, very nice.
Trish, because I think we were talking about crabs last time, and you said you're from Maryland, right?
Yes.
Oh man, here we go.
Oh,
so I just found out that Washington D.C. is in Maryland, right? So it's like the state like freaking rich. Is it like powerful? Like the roads, there's no potholes and stuff.
Oh no, the road has tons of potholes. Don't worry about that. My car will find every single one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta.
Rich. That's only because the taxes are high. Let's not go on that road.
But don't you feel pride? Like, yeah, man.
Oh, we have the best looking state flag in the entire country. I'll die on that hill. But
what's the animal?
Let's not get into that.
What's the state animal?
The oriole. That's our bird.
Bird.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking bird.
Black and orange.
It's got a nice orange color on it.
Oh, you can't beat a bear, man. A grizzly bear, come on. Grizzly bear is badass. Come on.
No, I mean,
get the bird. Come on.
It's not a bird.
We can't beat a lot of things, but we can certainly be play baseball well over here.
Really, Maryland?
Yeah, Maryland. We have the Orioles in Baltimore.
Cal Ripken Jr.
There you go. There you go.
Let's see. What else do we have here?
They got a strong history of baseball.
Yeah, look at that flag. Look at that.
It looks so British.
We're very stylized here with our colors.
I don't know. I think Colorado has you beat.
Oh.
That's hot. I was gonna say, let's not go there, else everybody's gonna be raising flags.
We're all gonna be like,
what is Colorado's animal then?
The state fly.
It's an insect.
The common house fly.
Are you serious?
No, I don't. I actually have no idea.
Let's see. We've got Black-Eyed Susans here. Horse racing's big. What else is good?
Oh yeah,
here?
horse racing is big out there.
Yeah, because
in that whole area though, horse racing is big.
Yeah. What do we have though? Like
that whole East Coast side.
Oh,
what's our derby
gambling?
called?
The Derby thing.
The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, well, the Kentucky Derby's in Kentucky.
It's in Kentucky.
Blue something.
We have Pimlico racetrack, and then of course we have whatever it is. It's one of the Triple Crown races.
Right, wasn't it? I thought it was like the blue something. I forget what. I know what you're talking about because I used to live in Norfolk, Virginia.
Its name is escaping me currently, but
But I remember, man, they used to like televise the races.
Preakness.
You'd hear it.
It was Preakness.
Okay,
it just came.
But they would televise the races. It's like you couldn't.
It's a big party. It's like
it'd be on the radio stations. I remember going to the races and betting.
Watch a horse race.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're watching. They're just like, "What? Who? A horse won! Hooray!" You know?
Yeah, I never won anything. So,
Okay, so
They're all like, they use it as an excuse to get wasted and then,
oh yeah,
and gamble.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But it's not too bad.
Sounds like my kind of town.
Yeah, because you don't there's a lot of people think that you got to be rich to go bet on a race.
Oh
but,
no,
you don't.
yeah, and
So-
Toluca, I mean, like they've really done a lot to revitalize the area too, where
Mhm.
where that race takes place, and they've done a lot. They're trying to move it, and I mean, not to get too lost in the weeds on horse racing, but
Right.
when you try and move something that's been somewhere for 100 years, it's going to run into some backlash.
Mm. Yeah, we have the Santa Ana racetracks over here, but it's not it's not as big as it is out over there.
Well, we
so
have
they have the
we have the Del Mar racetrack here.
then there's the Del Mar too down in San Diego.
That's insane. Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
they go all
San
out.
Diego is such a beautiful city. I've only been there one time, but I'll be back out there in July.
But the traffic, oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, no, it's the same thing with LA. The traffic
Yeah,
is bad up
SoCal
here.
traffic.
Yeah, actually, all over California, even Frisco has got some pretty
San
bad
Francisco,
traffic as well.
Oh man,
but
I know that's so bad over there in
It is
Frisco. It
so
moves so slow.
Dude, it took me a half hour just to get out of a Wendy's parking lot.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, nobody lets you out.
And they were just like, "No, you rot in there with your Wendy's."
Yeah, you know what you did.
Traffic in Hawaii, though. Come on, man.
Traffic in Hawaii, I know how to get around.
Yeah.
Really?
But I mean, like,
Yeah,
traffic
since
in
I grew
Hawaii's
up there,
gotta
I
be
know
like, well,
I
we're
know
all
the
going
back
same
ways on how to
way.
get around. And
don't-
Mog will tell you,
Yeah.
I go off the beaten track and I beat that traffic.
No, but
Yeah.
you're stuck. It's like what Trish said. It's all the same. You're stuck in that one freeway and you can't H1.
Yeah.
You just can't. There's no around for
Okay.
that. And I remember God.
It depends like where you're going, right? But
yeah,
like you
that's a
see
big
me,
one.
like instead of going on H1 during traffic hour,
Oh.
I take Nimitz, where there's
But you still have to
there's
get
a
on
whole lot
H1
less.
regardless. At the end of the day, you still have to get into that. But can I finish my
Not really. Go ahead.
Can I finish?
So it was at this certain hour, right? My
It's
shift
like the
ended
guy
at
is asking, "Can I finish?" Yeah.
You want to finish? You want me to give you some time to finish?
No,
Love is in the air.
What are you trying to say? You want to finish?
no, that's okay.
Every side and every
I kind of lost the mood.
So there was this guy like at because my shift ended at 2:30, and I would always be stuck in the same. Like you get to see like the other fellow traffic dudes that you just kind of see,
Mhm.
and I started to see a pattern. There's this one like junk car that he drives, and you're just sitting there in traffic, and he always had a bag of
Oh yeah,
sandwich
yeah,
bread,
yeah,
What?
and he would
Yeah,
toss
yeah.
it when
yeah,
stuck in traffic.
yeah.
And the freaking crows, they just come. They
Um,
do not know it's him.
It's
So
it's
the
not
whole front
it's
of
not
crows-
crows. It's pigeons, not crows.
It was a it's not a crows. It's one of those magpie looking things.
Those are called minor birds. But it was
Yes,
the
minor
minor
birds.
birds
It
and
was
the
a minor
pigeons that
bird.
were going after the
It
bread.
was a minor bird, and they just know his car. Even before
yeah.
he would do it, they all flock and they just kind of sit in a row in one of those like island with the partition between the freaking freeway, and they would just like a whole family of it, spaced out like 2 feet, and then he would start throwing, and they'll catch it in the air. It's like they're so smart.
Oh.
They know
Yeah.
him.
I'll vouch
wow.
for that because
They're like,
I've
our
seen
friend is
that
here
as
with the
well.
bread.
Yeah.
Those birds are smart. They really do know his car, right?
I
So-
can't believe it. It's just him they look for.
yeah,
Wow.
because he's the only one he's been doing it for a while, so they know. But yeah, I've seen that car, been behind that car, and I've watched it happen myself a few times.
Beat up,
And
dusty.
yeah, the birds actually follow that car.
It was so freaking amazing. Yeah.
They're waiting for him.
That's what you can do. Oh, so what I did was I had a guinea pig on. I used to have a guinea pig. I was stuck in traffic, right? And I had to take him to the vet because he was sickly. Oh, his name was
Cool.
Greyjoy. Okay, so my Greyjoy is next to me, and I feel like, oh, I got to feed him. And while I'm just sitting in the freeway, there's like this weed growing on the ground. So I'll get out of the car and hurry up and pull pull the weed, and then feed it to him, and then sit down and just watches him finish. And then when I creep a little, I would again like go and then just grab some weed and come back. I was like the crazy lady. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
but I mean, like,
dangerous.
you're not going anywhere. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
I love that
probably
guy. My
useful.
Greyjoy.
You were
All right.
saying you were saying your character is in Barrio Loken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like right by the Navy base, man. Like,
Yeah.
how does she deal with that?
Oh, exactly.
Is there any Navy parts that you put in there? Because like that's a
Okay,
big part of Barrio Logan to me. I mean,
Okay,
I used to be on that base all
so
the time.
my San Diego is not is not the San Diego that you come to. Like I said, it's a very dark story. I don't know. Have you guys been to Coronado?
Yeah.
That Coronado is considered the the most rich area.
Yeah.
So in my universe, Coronado is actually kind of a large version of Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
That's where
Okay.
where all the inmates and other I pretty much call them subhumans, pretty much mutants and stuff. They all get banned there. And in Chingona in the book, there's actually right here she has a shot in the very end of the book. I can show you real fast. Right here, you can see that Coronado Bridge is actually destroyed. You
That's
think,
tight.
Oh,
Hey, that bridge looks familiar.
wow, that's a cool shot, man.
So
Yeah.
you're keeping like landmarks. Do you still keep like Hotel Dell and stuff, or
so
like...
you can, yeah, I'm going to. So you can see her kind of just like at the corner of the bridge on right over here would be Barrio Logan.
Yeah.
So this, and then over here is Coronado. So she's right here on the corner, just kind of looking out over the city in this area. But it was destroyed because no one can go over here because Coronado is not considered the bad area where everyone's in prison. And then right there, you got here at the end, just kind of looking over the
I
city.
see. Kind of like a Escape from New York kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of idea.
LA.
So yeah, I may introduce a lot of like, because since San Diego is a big military-ish town, especially the Navy, I might throw elements in there of that type of stuff. But again, a lot of it is going to be a lot of ruin and not just trashy types.
So
stuff.
is it in the future, or is it just like this is just alternate universe?
Yeah, it's just an alternate universe. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hell's Kitchen.
Well, let me tell you, that area over there ain't that far away from dystopia. I mean, like with the Navy, because I used to have to. No, I was stationed down by that base, so I used to have to walk right from like my destroyer, cross the base to my apartment, or if I wanted to go downtown, I had to take the trolley. So I am uber familiar with that area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But some of the best like Mexican food you'll have, and so is like down there, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But man.
Yeah. So yeah, I will show a lot of like landmarks like Balboa Park. We have like those great old buildings and stuff like that. I plan to show things like that, and I plan to use different sections of the city to represent certain types of characters that are going to be introduced later on, just to show that to be true to the area. So yeah, I mean, I plan on using them in that form.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break right now. So don't go away. We'll be right back. And don't forget to put in #EXP Chingona. Okay. It kind of looks like a vampire cat.
Yeah. He's going feral.
There you go. We'll take a look at all that when we come back.
Yes.
After this.
Twitch. It's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there, too.
So, the show is called The Geek Chat. And really, there's just a couple of geeks.
I'm Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are your hosts for this weekly guide into comic bookery and all the geeky stuff that goes with it.
And that pretty much says it all. They talk about the latest movies and shows.
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Overall, D+ movie.
So the end. Did you know who that is?
That's She-Ra, yeah.
Yes.
The new #1 comics of the week.
We rep Samuel Jackson and we rep Mace Windu.
I passed on this. I was like...
No regrets.
No regrets. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. Like, I really did.
And just chat with each other. And with you.
Oh, Daniel says, I dosed off with the first one. I have zero interest in the Joker Harley ship, not Harley herself. Enjoy, not for me. Yeah, this movie's gonna be rough for me to sit through, I'll be honest.
The Geek Chat, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a couple of honest geeks.
Let's be honest. Come on.
And that is why people watch us, because we're honest.
Giving their honest opinions.
And the thing you always have to remember about the internet is everyone has an opinion, and they all suck.
Part of the experience.
Hey, thanks for coming back, everyone. Do us a favor. Call your friends, your church members, your bowling buddies, whoever. Get them to follow us here on the Experience for SketchUp. Help us increase our followers so we can give you these wonderful contents like Nick Barucci's The Original Art Show every Fridays at 7. Don't forget to put in #EXP Chingona. That'll qualify you to get on to tonight's giveaways, and I think you're going to like what we have tonight. Very art centric on that. All right, let's take a quick round and go around and see what everybody's art boards look like. Starting with Erik.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there you go. He's laying down the black.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has no plans on coming back.
Look at that arm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's gonna look really bad.
With all those black X's, it looks like a paint by number from here.
Oh.
Yeah. That makes it easy, at least, so that way you know where to put all that stuff in there. Yeah,
Man.
Okay, now what was the starting bid on that? We're looking for a starting bid of
150.
150. There you go, guys. On 11 by 17 by Erik Arreaga. Get that. And so that way he doesn't take it to Phoenix, and where the price is going to go up even much higher once it gets over there. Okay. All right, let's take a look at Mr. Sean.
Hey guys.
Looking for a opening bid of $80 on his Savage Land Rogue.
Dang, dude, you got a lot of that done.
Yeah,
Dude,
fast.
so pretty.
But you know what I like best on there? It's the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really feeling the Frazetta. I was like, all right. He reminds me of Frazetta. Let's just do some Frazetta type stuff.
Yeah, I'm feeling Tarzan with that. You know.
Yeah, I like
I'm
Tarzan
actually
too, man.
I'm actually feeling a little bit like Eric Canetti sketch style. A bit.
I don't even know who that is. I gotta look him up.
You got to look. If you don't know Erik Canetti, you should. With your style, Anthony, you're gonna like him.
It's the spontaneous. He's very spontaneous. It's always like sketch. Like, yeah.
But he's also kind of like the artist's artist. He's kind of very technical. Okay, let's take a look at who's next.
Trish.
Trish. Okay, there you go.
Oh no.
Don't change it. Oh.
Whoa!
Nice.
I love this.
It's amazing what a little color will do.
His name is Patch.
It goes a long way.
This is Patch. He's from the book Feral, so it's a character from the book on the book.
Okay.
Is he usually always angry?
Wow.
Well, at the end of this issue, not to spoil it, but it's been out for 2 months. If you haven't read it, you know.
Okay, I haven't. So
the last panel. Where is it? Hang on here.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
no.
My boy. What did they do to you?
Oh no. I hate it.
He's my favorite character in the whole first arc, even if he does go, you know. And like you'll see. And if you read into the second arc, he even we do so much with him that he's like my favorite character in the whole story. So like so far. I mean, I love all the characters. They're my little kitten children. But like Patch, he's my favorite to draw. He's my favorite, like just in general. His attitude through the whole first and second issues, just peak cat, and you know, he's the best. But yeah, so Patch,
very cool.
You know, he's my little friend here.
Oh, I'm getting anxiety. This guy's gonna get really, effed up. Like,
well, the first time I drew a remark like this, or the first time I did a sketch like this, he had a claw up that was like super bloody. And I was like, oh no, that's too much for this. That's too much.
Oh God.
But a little paint pen, man, that really jazzes him up a little bit.
That it looks really dope.
So since it looks like we have some time, I'll work on this one too.
There you go.
Master. Okay. Please continue.
So that Feral is up, and what was the starting bid we're looking for on that one?
50.
50 on that Feral Patch. All right, if you want that.
Crazy boy.
That's more than worth it there on a Feral sketch cover as well. To be. And here's Anthony's Gambit.
Whoa. That's classic. Super tight.
Nice.
Classic Gambit.
Look at that.
Freaking classic.
No.
Gotta have fun with it.
Laying down the black.
I gotta get my shading like that, man. My shading is like, classic whatever cartoon shading is. And
oh, dude,
like,
I fake the funk when it comes to my shading. I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
But that's what I think is kind of cool. Is I don't think there's too much of like a wrong way when you're trying to figure out shading, lighting, like that, because that stuff could get kind of like creative on how you lay that down.
Well, it almost looks like negative space from here.
Like,
exactly.
Because I can't see the pencils on the hair, and I can't see the pencils on the one side of the head where you were just about to start inking. So it almost was like negative space. So it kind of was getting like really cool vibes.
Yeah, you can just kind of like trying to figure out like what do you want to push up or down, and you play around with it. You don't have to play around with it like too long before you start really getting a feel for it and stuff. And,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think there's a learning curve to it, but I don't think it's that big of a learning curve.
I just tell everybody I fake the funk. I make it look aesthetically pleasing, but I'm sure like some pro will always tell me like, oh, your shading is a little different.
Of course. Yeah, everybody's got their own style and the way how they do it.
I think you got to
as
do
well.
things to separate you too from like other.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
you know,
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was starting to draw too, like I felt like my art was falling into like too much Disney or too much Warner Brothers or too much of, you know, because I tend to lean more into an animation style rather than like a comic book style. So, you know, trying to find your own path is key. So what you're doing is great, and I think, you know, I think a lot more people could learn a lot from not like copying per se another
There
person's
you
style.
have it. Okay, and it's fine to copy somebody else.
Oh yeah, no. I
It's
mean,
the
this is
great
how we
way
learn.
on how you. Yes, it's the great way on how you learn. But then you start breaking out your own style because you're taking a little here from there, a little from here, whoever your influences are. But then, and everybody has a different combinations on who they like, and so your end result becomes your own style, which is unique compared to everybody else. So yeah, go for it. And here's Mog's. Wow, that's looking good.
Oh wow.
Moggy.
Beautiful. Look at
Yay.
that.
That is
Wow.
tight.
I'm actually
I love
impressed.
her.
Wow.
I'm actually.
Do you know how rare it is for my man to compliment me?
That's not true.
Gosh.
Okay.
It's like,
You can ask other
Mel.
people about
Mel.
that too.
Like even if you just left that just like that, that's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Because I
freaking
like
tight.
how ethereal the hair looks, just like how you've done it so far. Like
Mhm.
it kind of looks like really ghosted from here. So I think it just looks really cool.
Okay. Thank you, Master.
All right, so
I'll take
so
care
we
of
are
my
looking for an
hair.
opening bid of $80 on that. We have no opening bids on anything yet,
$80.
and that's fine. We've
Bump that
got
up, man.
we've got Comic-Con Revolution coming up next week, and Phoenix Fan Fusion the following week, and then 2 weeks after that, it's Heroes Comic-Con out in Charlotte. So we've got a
Okay.
lot
You
of
guys got a
cons to
busy
take
time
out
coming up.
too.
I gotta
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Okay, Mel.
Yo.
I have to ask Sean something.
All right, here we go. Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Drum roll,
So
please.
you know, Sean, you know how we kind of married the same person,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, in your case, it's a female version, right?
Yeah.
So it's also. Do you agree with me? Like, Annie, she doesn't compliment you as often, right?
Oh God. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh.
On art?
Oh.
No, just I think maybe maybe on art, maybe.
It's not fair to be picking on Annie when
Let's
she's not here.
let's just talk about art. She's really good at. She'll try to compliment first and then give the critique.
Oh, compliment sandwich. I love those.
I didn't say sandwich. It's more like an open face sandwich.
Compliment, stack of criticism.
but you have to be like me, right, Mog? Where like when
Yeah.
they say, you know, that one shoulder or that,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you're like, you either fall apart, right, and just say, I don't want to do this anymore, or you try to defend it, or you go fix it.
When you can't unsee it, that's when you have to fix it.
That's that's when you fall apart and you then you go fix it.
I don't like it when people come when I work on a thing and I'm like, this is my pride and joy right here. I spent the entirety of my entire whatever concocting this piece, and then somebody goes, but what about this part that doesn't look right? After I finished it for like 8 hours, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go walk in the traffic. That's great.
The worst,
Bye.
the worst is when it's another artist because you're like, oh shit, they're right. Right?
Yeah, I know. When I like draw a piece and somebody notices like a tangent,
That's
or
a
like,
good line.
or like something that like
Yeah.
really is kind of elementary, like for most artists, and then they'll notice something like, oh, I did one the other day, or I guess a couple of weeks ago, I drew a piece.
Yeah.
And I wrote out the word aggression on it because it was a cute aggression. And it was like a little character squeezing the heck out of like a stuffed animal or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wrote cuteness aggression, and nobody corrected me. Oh, nobody corrected me that I spelled the word aggression wrong on the piece like that I wrote.
That is kind of embarrassing. Yeah.
And I was like, I noticed it the next day and immediately fixed it because, you know, We have to.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna say anything. I mean, I simultaneously love and hate that. Like,
Or what about
please
your
tell me if
husband?
I look like an idiot.
Doesn't your husband say, "Hey, Trish, you misspelled this. Are you like
No.
something's wrong with you?" Like, doesn't he do that?
No, he's not. He
Your husband's so
doesn't get
nice.
involved too much.
He's hands off.
The experience wants to know what a tangent is. So,
Oh, tangent
when you're-
line. Yeah.
yeah,
Super
when you're
easy.
drawing, when a line kind of coincides with another line and it
Another
kind
line.
of flattens out your piece a bit,
Yeah.
that you didn't
Yeah.
intend. Like, so say you've got two characters standing next to each other and one's in the foreground.
Mhm.
If they touch a certain way, it'll flatten your piece out. It'll make
It's
everything
either
look really.
it's either good to set them apart or overlap. Like they say the rule is don't put it like where it's like just like this. However, I've studied many masters now, like historical paintings, and the paintings that are even famous and really good ones, they have tangents. And you know how they have 1/3 like ratio rule about like, oh, you can only do 1/3, don't do center. Some of the most famous paintings is drop dead center.
Yeah.
As long as it gives the powerful feeling and imagery, there should really be no rules, really. So
I'm pretty sure that like tangents though, I mean, mostly for comics anyway, it runs into panels, like the panel edges.
That's
So
pretty much it. It's how you're able to lead the viewer through the panels, and those tangents just kind of like break it, or it messes with the the timing,
like the flow
or
of the piece.
Yeah,
like
and the flow of the way how the eyes are led through the panels, it messes that up, and that's what they're concerned about.
I agree with you. I think to a degree, like I think maybe, at least I used to be 100% Nazi about tangents, and then the more I study like art history and study paintings and masters, not always it's like perfect rule. They always follow that, and still the piece is very powerful. So
but here's the thing, right? Like all those rules, right, can be broken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you understand it and everything, and then sure, go ahead and break it, as long as you understand that rule and you understand like what you're doing, right? Because there could be a reason why you may create a tangent because you want your eyes to stop right there.
Exactly.
That's a good way on how you can use a tangent.
So I noticed like ever since then, like recently, I don't try to adhere too much. Like, of course, 80% of the time I'll check. But if the piece is still good, then I will kind of leave it alone. But the one thing I started to be really annoyed at is I think once I worked with this editor, and I think he was like an up and coming like guy, and he was so like what do you call micromanaged to the smallest thing that doesn't make any difference. Like the tiniest thing about, there's a tangent here, there's a tangent here, there's a tangent there. I'm like, you think I don't know? Like I made sure that there's a little bit of overlap, but even the little bit of overlap he considered a tangent. So you have to do like way overlap. And that's when I realized, if you are doing it to that degree, then it's not a good thing. So I don't know.
Tangents exist in real life. There was an artist, like he made this whole like thing about it. He was a phenomenal guy. I think he's like probably a concept artist, but he's like, I know people don't like him, but they exist. They're everywhere. And he's like had all these photos, and they're like, it's okay. Just is the story really bothered by the tangent?
I mean, I think it depends on also the piece. So like if it's one piece, like if it's a singular piece, it matters more because it can completely stop how you process the whole piece, like as a whole.
Okay.
But if it's just like in a comic book and you're just reading along in the panels, it might goof up your reading along in the panels. But I don't know. I think it looks. I think it depends on how bad the tangent is. Like, because we all know they exist. Lines cross, they're gonna, or lines meet, they're gonna. But
but if it's like a double tangent, that's a no-no.
But it's probably just going to depend on who you're doing it for or whoever's in charge.
Yeah.
And because you're always going to have to try to get a feel of what that person wants to see, what that person likes, what they don't want to see, and it's going to be different from editor, publisher.
Oh yeah, definitely
or
from
whoever,
editor
from
to
person
editor, it will be different.
Yeah, it's going to be different, right? So some people are going to like it, some aren't, and you just have to figure that along the way and try to play by their parameters.
That's another thing about learning whose sandbox you're playing in.
Yeah. You have to figure out whose sandbox you're playing in, and try to play nicely, right?
Because if it's your sandbox, you may not care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it's theirs, they're and for me, what I always say is that, hey, look, you know what? It's their story. Okay, it's not yours. Let them tell it the way how they want. It's just like you're in a group of people and you're listening to somebody tell a story, right? You're not going to tell them, hey, that's not a good way on how you tell a story. You let them tell their story and you let them tell it their way.
Yeah.
And that's the same way how I feel about in working with a team. When whoever is in charge trying to tell that story, that's what you got to go by. Whether you like it or not, it's not your story to tell. It's theirs. Anyway, Erik, if you can show that Spawn, Ilya was asking to take a look at that.
Yeah, show that Spawn.
And Trish has got a bid on hers from Ilya, 69.
Hey,
I love it.
Boom! Look at that.
Nice.
It's like I'm looking into the abyss of Spawn with all the darkness there.
Oh my gosh!
All right.
I can't imagine how much time it would take me to add all that black onto. What are you inking with? Are you inking with a marker or like a brush pen or?
Both. I actually never broke these out. These are the first time I'm using these brush pens. I got them as a gift, and they're really good. And then I'm using
fancy nibs on them, or are they just like paint brushes?
Both. There's some of them they're like thick brushes, and the other ones are like nibs.
What brand is that?
I don't know. I think it's in Japanese or something.
Ah, that's cool. I've seen those before.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So that's what, and then for the really big spots, I have these oil-based markers.
Those are great.
These are really the double-sided ones. So
yeah, I like those.
Yeah,
covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, I have so many right here. Like I've got tons right here of all the shadows I do. But yeah,
what kind of paper?
It's just it's
like 11 by 17 cardstock.
It's just a regular cardstock. Yeah.
It's not smooth.
Oh, it's a comic board. It's a comic board.
No, I made this. I printed like this whole thing out myself.
Oh.
Because this was what my my sketchbooks look like. I just made them look like comic book pages.
Which is great. I think it was a great idea.
So
like
so
that.
and then so every time someone gets like a piece, they get like my website. It's like a big business card, pretty much.
That's awesome.
You should publish those. Just make a book of like comic book pages because people would buy that for sure.
This is my sketchbook, and it has them all on there. See,
he did it. Yeah, I actually own one. Yeah.
Actually, we have a piece from Erik that's a sketchbook, but it's 11 by 17.
Yeah.
Oh, 11 by 17 one. Yeah, that's when I used to do the 11 by 17 pages.
That is a hefty sketchbook.
Yeah.
We
were happy to have it.
So I have like, and these are more the covers. These were the covers to those sketchbooks. So like these.
Yeah.
So and I have like a bunch of these left over, and every time I'm at a con, I'll just take one out and just start sketching on it, and lots of times when I'm just sketching, someone will be like, "Are you selling it?" And I'll just sell it right on the spot, and then just
you're just like,
yup.
Yeah, it usually works that way, or I'll get one of my sketchbook, and I'll start doing a sketch, and someone like, "Oh, dude, I'll buy that right now," and I just buy. So.
Yeah, when you go big, it goes home with someone.
Yeah. But yeah, this is it. There you go. So far.
Fantastic. Okay.
I never had that experience. Never.
Really?
I am so like horribly bad at like real. Not that I'm bad at real media stuff, like marker stuff. I'm okay with it, but I feel like my level is almost elementary in comparison to you guys who do this all the time. And because I'm mostly a digital artist. So I feel like a child breaking out the markers, and I'm like, so I'm super slow at committing. going.
What are you
darker
talking
and
about?
darker.
You're the fastest here. That's why I'm calling you master.
You did like a whole piece.
What is wrong with you? You're like delusional right now.
You did like a whole piece. I drew like a head sketch. So I mean, like,
oh my gosh.
Don't devalue yourself, Trish.
Wow.
Because you're very talented.
Insanity right
You've got the books to prove it
you guys
more than
are,
we
like,
do.
Oh my
Put
gosh.
together.
I love the diversity in the panel. You
Yeah,
know, in
too.
the mediums and the styles and the equipment. Like, I broke out the Sharpie paint pens for this one. All
right.
And my these Copics.
All right, we got some claim sales that I want to show people here, and then after that, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
So, JD, you can bring that up. First one here.
Pretty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one is available. We did sell the other one, so we'll see if that pops up. But that's an original 11x17 of Clea from Strange Academy, and Mog's done her own version of that. Here is this is a canvas 7x10 of Dagoba Yoda.
I love Yoda, okay?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yoda.
No explanation needed.
Okay.
No. Darth Maul. Shogun Darth Maul.
I can't believe you still have this. I thought this would have been gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they ended up buying a lot of other Star Wars pieces.
I
so
love
we'll
Darth
see.
Maul. So
Yeah.
other people like Darth Vader, but I like Darth Maul. So yeah.
There you go. Next one, JD. Okay, that piece is actually gone. Okay. Mike Asbill picked that up last week after the show. Yeah.
Okay.
So that piece is gone.
Nice.
This piece is available.
Yes.
That's a 12x18. Very good size.
Before I even said the
200.
description, I was like, "Oh, that's steampunk. That's a badass."
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. And one of the powder pieces that we have, Reven.
Oh, wow.
12x18, also available at 200. Shipping is included on all of that. All right, so there you have it. Don't forget to put in #EXP Chingona to get in on the free drawings. And
What
on
does
that note,
Chingona mean?
we will come right back after this commercial break.
I'll explain that when we go.
Something is speaking to you. Buy more comics. Just at the edge of your perception. Buy more comics. Your senses fill with visions of vortices. 360 Comics. Slowly drawing you to one thundering epiphany.
360 Comics! 360 Comics!
The universe is telling you to shop with 360 Comics. Joe's got amazing stock from high dollar to $5 books from Silver Age to modern, CGC, variant covers, and more. 360 Comics every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, part of the experience. To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds, a promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. Our special guest tonight is Erik Arreaga. We've been talking about Chingona, his new first published comic book this year. We also have Anthony Apodaca, Sean Linehan, and Trish Fortner. And if you know how this goes, we've been talking out in left field. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look on what everybody's got up on the board. Starting with Trish.
I'm drawing Victor.
Oh my God.
From Stray Dogs.
From Stray Dogs. She already finished Patch from Feral, and that has a current bid of $69 from Ilya. So we are looking for the next bid of $75 on that if you want to get the Patch. Okay. And is that are you asking a starting bid of $50 on that one too?
Yeah, we can start 50.
Okay, there you go. She's starting low for you guys. It should be going much more than that.
Yeah, usually I like to stay low for folk, you know.
Yeah. And that's great. Okay, that's good to hear. You know, give everybody a chance to get some of that cute, good art that she has there on a blank sketch cover to boot too. You know, so you value that in. Okay, especially on that Stray Dogs, because those sketch covers are getting tough to pick up these days.
Oh yeah, right. Well, I have like 200 of these. Don't. This is on the Dog Days one. This is on the Dog Days.
All right, if anybody's looking for Stray Dogs, you might be able to get some up for Trish.
Dog Days blanks. I got you.
There you go.
I might draw a dog on it for you.
All right, let's take a look at Anthony.
What up? Moving along, getting going on there.
Cool.
Okay. This is Gambit from X-Men 97. If you're watching that series, seems to be doing really well.
So much fun.
Is bomb.
It's so fun.
Definitely been a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah. And a lot of people enjoying that.
This is gonna be the perfect time for dealers to put out their dollar bins so people can catch up on those old books.
There, and that's what I see. Like what is happening right now is people trying to go back to get those issues. And so with that happening, you can expect those
Whoa.
books to go up in price. And here we have Spawn laying down the black. Okay, looking for an opening bid of $150 on a 11 by 17 custom design comic sheet. Okay.
So awesome.
Look at all that detail in there. If you're a Spawn fan, you can pick that up, bring it to Phoenix. That is Todd McFarlane's next appearance.
Yeah.
The guys, he'd been hitting the shows lately. He was at WonderCon in Calgary. Phoenix is next.
Wow.
So, catch him while he's in a good mood, because he's in a very good mood right now. Yeah.
Sean, are you gonna screen tone that?
I don't think so. I think I sort of just like it as line art.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna
I
say.
think it looks cool as line art.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and Sean is looking for an opening bid on that for 80.
80.
There you go.
80.
If you want to bid on that, you can go ahead and say that into the comments. He's got it. You look like you're almost done.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put a little pterodactyl way up here.
Oh yeah, that would be a nice touch.
Yeah.
Or just
I love me a
Magneto.
pterodactyl.
Just an old man Magneto
Yes.
flying from the sky trying to kiss her. But he's not going to kiss her.
That's commemorating Rogue's and Magneto's first appearance in the Savage Land with that famous Jim Lee cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just kind of like popped out of nowhere. Hey, when did this happen? All right, let's take a look at Goblin Queen from Miss Maud Park.
Yeah.
Ouch!
Yeah.
Mama.
So
I
good.
think it's so satisfying to see a piece kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause there was nothing here when you started, and you're just building her up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's the reason why nobody, like on the streets, kind of like Eric, when he sketches, people come and say, "Hey, can I buy that?" That never happens to me because I only see the ugly stage. They have no faith in me,
They have to trust the process.
I was going to ask you about that earlier. That's never happened to you? Seriously?
It has. She just doesn't remember.
No, really.
Okay.
They just never.
Oh yeah.
No,
Then
no.
let me remind
Yeah, I
you
can
of the Harley Quinn that you did in Dallas last year.
What
That
Harley
you just
Quinn?
like. There was a Harley Quinn that you did. Okay.
I don't
believe
count
it was Harley Quinn.
cons. I don't count cons. You were talking like randomly off the street, like in a cafe or something.
Oh, like if you were just drawing it like a Starbucks.
Yeah, I think that's what Eric was saying.
No, I meant conventions.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
But now we gotta. But now we gotta take it to the streets, right? We just gotta go to a corner, set it up,
No way.
buy my art.
Uh-oh.
Get away. Do it. Let's do that.
I wish that would happen, but no way.
Mog and Mel on the street. Sketch up.
Going live.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna tell me what it means, Chinga.
Oh, that's right. Chingona means badass girl. If you say chingon, that means badass guy.
Oh.
So and also depending on where in Latin America you are, in the Latin culture you're in, it could be a little bit more vulgar. It could actually be a lot more offensive, just depending. But more in the like Mexico type, it just means badass. So
what's a badass?
Like I'm wondering, because lately when I went to where were we, Mel? Chicago, right?
We went just now.
Yeah, we
This
went
past
to Chicago.
weekend. We were in Manhattan Beach.
Okay, never mind, Chicago.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I got to talk with this lady, and she was really into K-drama.
Oh.
And it made me think, like, in K-drama, if you really love somebody, you show your true self. Like, you know, the expression of love in the K culture, just Korean culture in general, is like the more we are abusive to you, in affectionate way, that means we really love you. Really love you. Okay.
So misleading.
It's but it's the same in Hispanic culture.
Yes and no. It really can vary.
Okay.
I think ours actually gets into more of a toxic type scenario.
Oh,
physical.
Oh, physical?
Well, no,
That's considered love?
Well, both. Because in it's starting to go away because my generation is starting to be more expressive. But say my father and stuff like that, that was it because of the machismo. The more of it's too manly to actually show affection, and you showed affection more of kind of in gifts or just kind of here's this toy, go away.
It's the act. It's not verbal. It's the act of it's the action that's taken. Now, Filipinos are kind of like that, not as much, but it's like with my parents. It was hard for them to say "I love you." To us. Okay, but they expressed it in so many other ways that we knew it. We even though it wasn't said. But then now in my generation, right, I say that to my son. Because for me it was. I always wanted to hear it from my parents, but I also kind of understood why they didn't, right? So I didn't bother with it, right? But I've learned that it's nice to hear the words, because you go through so many relationships, and how many times someone would say, "I just want to hear you say it." I know you do it. You have these actions to back it up, but I just need to hear it.
Wow.
So I try to do that.
Really?
But,
now you're like that?
Just, I
really?
So.
Because I grew up in Asian culture too, and I'm glad they don't say that. It's so cringe. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? I mean, for me, I'm just kind of, I could feel the love anyway. I didn't wish it like you. I think it's different per person, right?
Yeah, it's different from person to person. Some people are badass like that, and some people aren't. And then speaking of badass, Sean has some. You have some badass claims that you wanted to show tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about my wife again. No, okay.
I wouldn't do that.
I mean,
I don't want to get in trouble.
No, I was going to talk about her aunts, right? I noticed whenever they would laugh, if they were far away from somebody, because whenever they would laugh, they had to hit somebody when they were laughing.
Yeah,
that's
her
aunts, her mom. They'd be like, ha 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 ha, and they would look around, and I'd be the closest, and bam. And it's just it's like a tick or something. I don't know. It
is. It's the whole Korean culture. Mog does that too.
Yeah. So I had a few pieces. Actually, it's quite a few pieces. I got this princess piece. I did.
What's that?
It's just something I made up. Here's a Gundam.
Whoa.
Here's
That's
the old.
cool.
Okay, wait, whoa. Don't go so fast, and let everybody know what the prices are.
Oh, the 50.
What size are they?
These are 8.5 by 11.
Okay, 8.5 by 11. They're 50 each. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That one.
That's cool.
And then this is
Death Dealer.
Yeah, Death Dealer. That's right.
Okay.
I don't know why. And then I guess I can make more for this one. I'll just do these. Okay. But yeah, that's a personal piece.
It's not that kind of show.
It's not that show.
Those are pasties. Those are red pasties.
Oh, red pasties. Oh, that's a sticker.
It's not real, right?
You got to put tassels on those. And I remember to swing.
I remember to go into bookstores in Japan, and I was just, you walk around and you'd be like, oh, this is a little anime section, and you're like, wait a minute. There's books here, and it's just out in the open. There's no curtain.
Yeah,
it's out in the open, and I'm like,
There's no black bag. What's going on here?
So I tried to figure out why, and it's just like they're like it's cartoons, it's not real. And I was like, okay, and that's how I look at it.
Right now, they do have a line that they don't want you to cross. Okay, when you're in books like that, right? It can't get graphic. Okay, but it's okay to show nudity.
Yeah.
Right? So and I think the United States is the strictest with that.
Which is so funny considering how the rest of the world sees the United States.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Right. And we want I don't want to get into why we're like that because that can be a deep
That's a whole nother
discussion.
podcast.
Exactly. I know, exactly.
You go to like Italy and Greece, and there's like
it's all over the place over there. Those guys are used to it. It's
beautiful sculptures, history. There's like, man, everywhere.
Yeah, that ain't covered up. No pasties or post-its on that stuff.
And that's considered fine art. And I'm like,
and that's the way, and that's what I think, I think that's how it should be. Okay. That we shouldn't look at it as more taboo. I think there's a way how to introduce it into the young and explain it to them. And if you treat it as taboo, then they're going to grow up thinking of it as taboo. But if you don't, then it won't be, So that's my take on it.
Yeah.
Sean, can you show those once again for Mike? Serious art collector here.
Death Dealer.
Mike as Bill.
That's really cool.
I got Appleseed.
Appleseed, which I like.
Oh, so classic. Appleseed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Appleseed.
I think this is Wing Gundam.
Wing Gundam, yeah.
And then this princess character. And then the girl with the things that nobody wants to say, but everybody's okay with. But
Yeah.
I looked up a thing about dragon tattoos.
Yeah, I looked up a thing about Instagram. It's like legally you can show that if it's art because it's art, as long as it's not like they're not doing anything too crazy. But they'll still push you down.
So I don't get it like on Facebook, right? They don't want us to show that stuff. But don't you have to be 18 to get into Facebook?
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay.
Wow, Mel.
So,
you blew my mind today.
I thought it was 13 to have a page, but like.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's why I'm not sure. But I thought it was 18 and you had to have.
I think you have to have a parent's consent, like to log you in with your.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, something weird.
I'm trying to build this dog up.
Yeah.
Oh.
My little spotty boy. Y'all know what happens to him in this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poor baby.
I have to reread it. I was so scared because I love animals. I was just not reading the words on purpose and looking through only the images. And then I'm gonna read it definitely. But I was haunted by the last image.
On Free Comic Day,
yes.
This little girl came up with her dad, and she picks up all the stray dogs because my shop had the individual reprint issues that we had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she picks up because I sold all their trades, so she comes up with the 5 issues, and she's like, "This book looks so cool," and I was like, "Wait, are you cool?" Like,
yeah, right.
I'll tell you about it real quick. I told her about it. I gave her the elevator pitch, and she goes, "Oh my god, no! It's even cooler now."
Okay.
Then she picked up Feral too, and I was like, "Oh."
They are.
Oh, yay! Thank you, Derek.
Thanks,
But you did the right thing, like saying that to her.
Yeah, well,
they're not as squeamish as the kids before.
Well, thankfully, like in Stray Dogs, we don't do anything insane. Feral's a lot more crazy than Stray Dogs. On screen violence.
Sean, let's see those again. Mike wanted to buy 2 of them, so let's make sure which ones he wanted. I think the Transformers was one of them.
Oh, the Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam. Okay. If
Appleseed.
Mike, you can verify that, just so that way we're sure about which one it is.
Death Dealer, and we all remember the other one.
I apologize, Sean. When you were holding them, they were a little off camera, so we couldn't really see them.
Oh yeah, they're out of focus.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry. Death Dealer.
I love how organic the lines look on that one.
Yeah.
Super
That was good.
lively.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did that Comic-Con, and then Wing Gundam.
The same thing with that Wing Gundam. He looks kind of like, you drew like a drafter's pen.
Yeah, I use parallel pilot parallel pens or like for calligraphy. I got all types of calligraphy pens like that. I'm like,
That's rad.
I just like that style. And then the princess, and then the booby girl. This bad boy. It's supposed to be like
type of pen, is it like an ASMR thing? It's like scratch, 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 scratch. Because I feel like that
I guess
would
it could
make a
feel
lot
like that. Yeah. Yeah, you could scrape the paper hard enough, but like I'm trying to use a lot more like watercolor paper because there's a water-based inks.
Makes them.
And it just takes it better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
So which one was the last one?
I think it's a tassel lady.
Tassel lady.
Tassel lady. Okay.
Yeah, the tassel lady.
Right, so was it? Is it Transformers or Gundam?
It's Gundam. It's Gundam.
Gundam. Okay.
Gundam.
So let us know if we have that right, Mike. Is it the Tassel lady and the Gundam? Just to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to record that now.
But yeah, they're fun to use. It's just sometimes they'll get messy.
Is it like super entertaining to like watch us all with our heads down? Like, I know you guys have your cameras pointed at your work, but like, I don't at the moment have like a setup that's good enough for that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Trish.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm not drawing anything, so
That's a really good question.
My head is always up.
That's a very good question. I like
Heads
that
up.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing.
But I also love this format for this reason. You know what I mean? I love
we're doing
this
something.
format, because we're all kind of chit chatting while we're drawing. It's kind of like a jam sesh.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what we intended as well. We go ahead and we promote the books or whatever our special guest has, and then we just kind of just free it up and go into whatever we want to, and it kind of keeps it friendly.
We talked about a lot of things that were out of left field today, but
cool. That's actually part of the character of the show. We and that's when I can let Mog loose.
But also as a bunch of artists, like we can all talk about like our equipment, what we like, what we don't like.
Right.
I know.
We all can kind of commiserate about our different styles, what we like, what we don't like.
I would love to talk more about that technical thing, but I think we might chase
bore
people
the heck out of some people.
Yeah. No, but you'll be surprised like how they are interested because people do like chime in like Lorena is saying, I love watching the work in progress. It reminds me of being in art class with my friends talking about anything. I would hang out after my classes just so that we could just be free and talk whatever we want. Maybe even talk crap about the teacher.
The poor teacher didn't even know. Didn't have it coming.
I kind of dropped off on the food stuff, but I gotta do more of the food stuff.
Interesting.
But for tonight though, I do have a nice Colombian roast. I'm enjoying it very, very nicely.
Colombian roast is nice. No. Why, Sean? Why'd you laugh like that? What's up, Sean?
What? I was like, just with Colombian roast. It just sounds delicious, and
it is.
I just love food culture. Is always good.
If you grew up in the 60s and the 70s, right? Okay, the best coffee. They would have these commercials. I forget what brand it was, but they talked about how the best coffee came off the mountains of Colombia.
Yeah.
With and then the guy in the burro would come and
it was a catchy commercial.
Right? No, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, with a donkey and.
And then I think to myself too. I'm like, us military guys, like Mel and me, we had the worst coffee ever. So when you're out of the military or you have your own home, you're like, you always want the best coffee, right? Because like I'm not drinking
Wait,
that.
what was the worst coffee? Was it like dehydrated, like the instant coffee?
Yeah, what is it?
Premier MREs.
No,
It's
no,
just-
not from the. There is that, but it wasn't that. God, I used to work in the kitchen too. I forgot what it was. Yeah. You just fill up that big tank and it would just have black coffee. But what I like best, okay, the coffee might have been bad. It wasn't that bad. You kind of get used to it. We called it turpentine.
Yeah.
But what I like best is on the boat. Okay, when you're on a ship, okay, I used to get that Hershey's chocolate, rich, not the 2% fat, but just the rich Hershey's chocolate. I could drink that like all day. And that's how a lot of guys would. That's how a lot of guys got big on this ship, drinking that Hershey's chocolate.
See, you had that when you were younger.
Yeah.
But now they literally have like vending machines, right?
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah. They're like all over carriers, man, like all over. And then they have their own
They
shops
make you
and
pay
stuff.
for it now.
Pay for
Yeah.
it? You poor sod.
Yeah.
You poor sods. Oh gosh. It's just...
Wow.
And another thing with military is we get grade D meat.
Oh.
Right?
Nice.
So that is for prisoners and military. And the grade F is for animals, right? So if you're like, you guys are in the military, you guys should be strong and blah blah blah. Yeah. But
prisoners. Huh?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't experience that.
No.
No.
Well, if you were on a ship, you did. I promise you. 'Cause that's what we got, man.
I don't know. That's not what I got.
You're in the
man,
army.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not cool. Like,
Well,
it's hamburger. It's hamburger day.
Ship
Just
life
eat it.
sucks.
It's not gonna kill you.
And that's why you make friends with the Filipinos in the Navy, because those guys.
Those are the cooks.
Those are the cooks.
Yeah.
And they always had the best food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
so you're
stuff
like,
they
all
don't
right.
put out. You will
Right?
never see that in the open mess hall.
No.
It's cooked in the back.
Everybody has these sad plates and trays, and then you look over at all the Filipinos because they're all huddling together at their own table, and they're like punce it and like like adobo, and you're like, where the hell was that? Where the hell was that on the line?
Yeah.
And they're like looking at you like, you better stay
Porky
away.
Santes.
They're like, all right, man, all right. I
See,
need
that
to be
was
friends with those guys.
That was the thing, is that okay, in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
The Filipinos became the better cooks, and the admirals and the captains, right, or whoever was the CEO of the ship, right, would want a Filipino cook because of that, because then that's how they knew they were getting something cooked. And a lot of admirals had their own personal cooks, which were all Filipinos as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Do you know why that is, guys?
Huh?
Because back in the day, Filipinos were only allowed to be shopkeepers, which were people who did supply, mail, I think, and then also cooks. That's all they were allowed to be.
Yeah. They were low key jobs.
Yeah. I was like, that's racist as hell.
Yeah,
but that was back in the day.
But
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because there were so many Filipinos there in the military. They had their own community, so it was good for them. You know?
But- But you know, Sean,
and they were able to. Several of them actually were able to rise up in ranks, because I have several Filipino friends that were pretty much up there, and so they were treated well.
Oh yeah.
But Sean, little did they know, whoever holds the supply and the food has the real power.
Exactly.
That's it. You know,
And the
they
mail,
looked at
delivery,
low-key
everything
positions,
power.
but those were key positions: supplies, inventory, and food.
In the mail.
You want
Did you get mail today? Did
everybody looks for mail, right? Because it's for family and they have happiness and everything else. Where's my Amazon box? Oh, it shouldn't have been mean to that guy. You shouldn't have been mean to that guy.
You don't mess with any of those people.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the good food? Oh, shouldn't have been mean to that guy. Should have been mean.
Oh, you want your mail?
Yeah.
Sorry, you didn't get any today. I guess nobody loves you.
You need that piece to do your job. You need this component. I'm sorry, but we don't like you because you were a jerk to that guy. You know, like
sorry, all out.
Wow.
Yeah, but for real.
Order, but
for
not
real.
come in yet. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was real.
You want a piece of little, that little shot of whiskey? You want that?
Yeah, okay. That's some special stuff that you're asking
Exactly.
for.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that easy to get.
And then you have to pay more, so they get more money. So
Yeah. Always make friends with them.
Yep.
No matter what, it's worth it too. I mean, they're good people.
Yeah. Filipinos are good people, and you're getting to see that now because it's like the Filipino culture is like breaking out in the world. You see all these like commercials to go to the Philippines for vacation. They got these fantastic trips where it doesn't cost you a lot of money. They're dominating Miss Universe. They're kicking it into the music industry. So they are finally coming out of the closet, so to speak. I've been out for a while though.
I think it's just in general. It's just globally. It's not just Philippines. It's just international.
No, you're right. It is. We are opening up to the world and being more accepted. It's not just us, but it's everybody else. It was only in the 1990s when I was, doing all the cons and stuff like that. And there was this one time. This was at Frankenstein's. I was eating just Chinese food, and these two white guys. I'm calling them out as white, but I'm not being racist. That just happens to be a fact. Okay? Walk by and they go, "What is that smell? It stinks." They said it pretty loud, and I was right there. They could see I was eating my food, But they were really young. I just kept my mouth shut, But that was the kind of attitude they had back then.
Yeah.
Today it's a whole new different story,
Yeah.
A lot of people eating all kinds of Asian food that stink.
Yeah.
But never mind the fact that we've been. Yeah, same here. And never mind the fact that I was eating stinky American food back in the 60s. Yeah, like cheese. Asia was not is not known for eating cheese until recently, and some of them still consider that to be stinky food.
Trish, what did you eat for the first time?
Kimchi.
What kind? The red cabbage?
Oh
one?
no, it was just like I tried the basic crybaby I can't handle spicy food, not regular kimchi.
Yeah.
Just to see if I could handle it. Okay. And because I'm not much of a sauerkraut person, so I featured it would be kind of like that because it's like fermented cabbage. So I was like, so I tried it. It was great. It tasted like pickles. It was great.
Yeah.
So you the next step after I finish this little container that I have, I'm gonna upgrade to spicy and see if I like it. Also, they opened a World Market near me, so I went shopping and I picked up all kinds of noodles and tteokbokki and
you're expanding
I'm
now.
International. I'm trying international. But I'm
that's
everybody
good.
tries this stuff, and I always see people cooking it, and they're like, they make it look so easy. So I'm like, it can't be that hard. It can't.
It's easy.
Really? Tteokbokki?
Well, not
yeah, I mean, it looks easy. It looks like a lot of people
is
make it.
labor of love.
Yeah.
All right. Quick reminder: don't forget to put in #EXP Chingona. We're gonna do these free drawing pretty soon. Before I forget, we run out of time.
Blue eyes.
Yeah, he's got blue eyes, and the background's all cloudy because he's
let's blow that up on the screen and take a look at that. There you go. So that has a bit of 50 already from Derek. Okay. Nice. And Patch has a bit of 69 from Ilya. Let's take a look at that Gambit, Anthony.
I like the feral. Yeah.
Got two different attitudes, Got
Oh.
a happy dog and a mad cat.
I know.
X-Men 97 Gambit. Okay. How tight is that?
Fun. Getting some 5 o'clock shadow in there.
That line art is
tight. There you go. We are looking for an opening bid of 80 on that. Don't let that go by.
Mm.
And if
I've
you
got
want to
you
see
signed.
more black, let's take a look at Spawn. Ouch.
So much
Woo.
black.
Looking for
The amount of ink.
150 opening bid on that. Okay. That'll be just enough to replace the black.
Yeah, that'll be just enough to buy
All
some
the
new brush
black
pens.
Yes.
All right.
Plus, I mean, the amount of technique, like the shading on the cape, especially on the far side, where it's kind of lighter, where the I guess whatever he's doing on the right side of him, looks badass.
There you go. And now let's take a look at Rogue. Looking for an opening bid of 80 on this one still. From Mr. Sean Linehan.
It looks like Sean may have disconnected his camera.
Oh. All right, we'll get back to Sean. Let's go to the Goblin Queen. Who's doing that?
Thanks, Hardcore Comics.
Oh, that was Mog.
That's beautiful.
Moggy.
Beautiful, darling.
Look at
Beautiful.
her.
It's
Thank
beautiful,
you.
darling.
Thank you.
BBB Hardcore Comics is here. Thank you for coming by. My daughter and I love Feral first two issues. Number 3 coming out shortly. Look for that.
Yeah,
Feral's coming out fast. It feels like it was only like a few weeks ago that I was talking to you guys about number 1, and that just came out at that time.
Yeah, number 3 is getting ready to hit.
Yeah, that's
in like
pretty
2
soon.
weeks.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks it'll be out. Coming out quick.
Oh man, we went off
Quick
the
and
hook
hard.
in issue 2. Issue 3 is going hard.
Okay, you heard that first. Grab that issue 3.
Also, get that Jenny Frizen cover. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
We do the Cat Lady series of covers, which is basically a virgin variant, and then we just let a lady artist draw a bunch of cats. So I call it my Cat Lady series.
That's why.
So we've got Jenny Frizen on number 3. We had Sophie Campbell and Sweeney Boo on the first 2.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
we have a good collection of lady artists,
Sweet.
brewing for these upcoming.
There you go, guys. You heard that. You want to collect them all.
Yeah.
Lorena writes, I got my sister hooked on Feral today. Now I got to get multiple issues.
Yes. Wahahaha.
Feeling the love from Lorena.
So Trish, what have you been like either reading or listening to or watching that you're like, okay, this is pretty good? Like anything?
Listening to, there's an attorney lady who I watch on TikTok. Her name is Reb for the Rebrand, and she has a podcast called the Rebuttal Podcast. And I listen to her go over like these bonkers cases, like old cases, and she'll give her thoughts and opinions about the cases. So like one of them was about like this crematory in like Georgia that like got in trouble for hiding all these bodies and like doing it was very dark, like the story. But anyway, her opinions on it were what was getting me, because she has like she speaks with the vocal fry, like the Gen Z vocal fry
okay.
thing. And so her delivery is very funny. But I also listen to a lot of lo-fi. My favorite right now is Final Fantasy VII music that's like lo-fi tuned.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yay, please. More at the Golden Saucer, please.
Wow.
Sean, can you
All
hear
right,
us?
if you
Are
haven't
there?
put it in yet, put in £EXP Chingona. We're going to start rolling this out. We got about 6 minutes left before the show is over.
I just checked my camera and it works fine. I don't know what's not working on this though. So.
It's so adorable.
Next week we will have Murphy Luke with us. She just finished her Damsel Kickstarter. So you want to join us out for that. And then the following week, we'll be gone for Phoenix, but Sean will be here leading off in Art Jam.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Did I hear before you said you guys aren't going to Dallas?
No, yeah, we're not going to Dallas this year. Yeah, we didn't get approved for it, which was kind of shocking.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no.
hey, we don't make the calls.
I'll be there.
Steve is asking, did his Goliath from Mog get shipped?
Which one's
It's
the
not-
Goliath?
Remember how we did Goliath from Gargoyles when Drew Moss was there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably not. I've fallen way behind on that because of the number of shows that are like coming up. I've been trying to get ready for those along with like other things. But I will try to work on it. If not this week, then next week, because I do want to get that taken care of before we leave for Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the. We got 5 minutes left, so let's do the first giveaway, and we're gonna do it for this Louis Bravo bookmark. I'm not sure who this is, if it's Witchblade or Phantom, but that's the first giveaway. We can go ahead and roll that out, JD. And here we go.
Stevie
B wins
it.
that one.
Good job.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay, so the second one we
Congratulations.
have. I don't know if you guys remembered this one, but I have a set of X-Men coasters for the next giveaway.
From when is that? Is it vintage?
Yeah, it's from 2007, 8, or something like that. Can't quite remember when.
Stevie. Kicking
All right, so let's roll for that. There's a total of 3 of these that we're gonna give away, and here we go. Mike.
Yay, Mike.
Very nice.
You got a vintage.
All right. Okay, now the next thing we're going to give away, okay, you're going to like this one, okay. I have three of these Venom postcards. If you can see that. Let's see if I can show this one right here.
Is that another vintage?
This one is got tongue.
Got tongue.
Okay. And here's 24 years to Venom, whenever this came out back then. Okay. And you always bring a smile to my face, Venom style.
Nice.
Wow.
You can see that. All right. These are official Marvel posters that they were handing out in the comic stores way back when. That, of course, you can't get those now. And let's roll. Go ahead and roll for that. We have Steve Vendetta wins that one.
Go Steve.
Very nice.
Woohoo!
Haven't
Heck
seen
yeah.
Steve's name pop up in a while. Good to see that there. You will get those, Steve. We will talk about that and get that to you. All right. So we have our 3 winners there. And like I said, don't forget to check us out next week. We have Murphy Luca. I hope I'm saying that right. She just finished her Damsel Kickstarter recently, and it was a pretty successful first run of a Kickstarter for her. Nice. And then the following week, Sean will be heading off an art jam session with a group of, I think it's about like a total of 6 artists. So you definitely want to pay attention to that, because there's going to be some pretty cool guys that are in that one. I'm not going to say who, but you can find out during that week. Okay.
Sean is back, Mel.
Okay, yeah. Sean is back. Let's see that
I'm back.
Rogue. Give everybody a look at that. We are still looking for an opening bid of $80 on that. Same thing with Mars Goblin Queen. And Spawn is looking for an opening bid as well. And same thing with the Gambit. Right now, Trish is cleaning house with a bid of $69 on Patch and $50 on the Street Dogs. Okay, actually, and that Rogue is looking tight. 75. Oh, Patch is at 75 now?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
BBC Hardcore Comics.
Okay, BBC got that.
Worth it. Worth it. Wow, he's putting in water.
But look at that.
Look at the water he's putting out.
Oh, yeah. Put in water. All right.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
All right.
I love the
Eric.
environmental art.
Rogue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Boom.
it's contrast, blue and red.
That's a nice
Yeah.
Yeah.
comparison.
Happy
contrast
and
there.
terrifying.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, let's see
Also,
that.
you might see some plush toys of these guys coming out soon.
Ooh.
All right, let's see.
Ugly characters.
Ooh. Let's see that spawn one more time.
Yeah.
Look at
Wow.
them.
Boom.
Wow. Get the special effect kind of thing you're doing. At the,
All right.
Yeah.
That's not taken. You probably see that at Phoenix. That'll go for $250.
Or even higher. So.
Yeah. All right, Mog. Let's take a last look at yours before we go.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty.
Down.
So good.
I might do that, Stevie.
Wow.
Go for a Hollywood Square 9. Okay. I've come close to doing that with 8, but I haven't gotten the 9 yet. You know how hard it is to line up this show, and it takes a lot of work to get people to come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And then
just a
switching
matter of
back
like
and forth
scheduling.
between everybody.
Yeah. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. Had a ton of fun again, as
Thanks
usual.
so much.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
be looking forward to seeing you at the cons, right? So, and don't forget, keep hitting that follow button and give us increase our fellowship there, right? All right. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you guys.
Thanks
Thank you for
again.
having me.
No worries.
Good night.
Good night.
Great.
Boy.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons, in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.